What is up, bookworms and constant readers? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be all about Andrei Sapkowski's The Lady of the Lake. Now, before I get started, to my error, I have been telling you guys how to read this series totally wrong. I didn't recently find out until I finished Lady of the Lake earlier last week, because I was disappointed with how it ended and I was wondering where the story's going to go. The story's not going anywhere because it's over. A friend of mine told me that. So I was always told the last book is what I'm reading right now, Season of Storms. This is actually the second book. So I want to clear things up and go through exactly how you read this epic story in chronological order. And then we'll get into the last book, The Lady of the Lake. So there's a little bit of debate, I guess you could say, when it comes to how you should read this story. Because Season of Storms, which is what I'm reading now, it actually takes place in the middle of the first book, The Last Wish. Now, for just ease of reading, and it's not too complicated. This is a collection of short stories. Well, this book actually starts in between one of these short stories. But for the ease of reading and for your own sanity, this is how you should read this series. Start with The Last Wish. These are short stories. They introduce you to the Witcher and what he's all about. When you're done with that, read the book that I am on right now, Season of Storms. Then you move on to Sword of Destiny. Sword of Destiny is another collection of short stories. The last half of this book is essential and will lead you in to what is numbered as book number 1, The Blood of Elves. And I can show you these real quick. Pull them out of here, if they'll come out. There we go. So you read The Blood of Elves. It's numbered book 1. It's actually book 4. Read that one. And from this point on, they all go in numbered order, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because they're all telling, at this point, one story. Then you read The Time of Contempt. And then Baptism of Fire. Put these up real quick. Then you read The Tower of Swallows. And then finally we get to what this video is all about. The Lady of the Lake, the ending of the story of The Witcher. So I thought the last book almost broke me. This one came close. Now, before you get mad or click away, I'm going to try to do this without spoilers, and I want to tell you, I gave this a 4 out of 5, even though it was extremely hard to read. And I'll tell you why in a minute. this whole series is like beautifully written. It's beautifully done. It is one of my favorites. I will probably reread it in the future. The problem I have with this book is it could have been shorter, and I think the ending sucks. And there's more problems I have with this book than any other, but it is so well written that it still gets a 4 out of 5. The first big problem I have is we've known since way back in The Blood of Elves that I just showed you that war has been going on. The Nilfgaardians are basically steamrolling their way north. They are raping, burning, and pillaging everything in their way, and there's no stopping them. And it's never really been at the forefront of Sapkowski's storytelling until this book. And you are going to read page after page after page of this huge battle that is going on. What is taking place in the field hospital. And it is a good 150 pages. And the whole time, and after thinking about it after it ended, if I would have known at the time, it would have bothered me even more knowing that this is the end of the story. That there's no more after this. But it bothered me at the time, and now it bothers me even more because while I'm reading all of this, I'm just thinking, what is happening with Geralt? What is happening with Yennefer? What is happening with Siri? And I'm not getting any of that. Instead, I'm getting, play by play of this huge battle that is going on, and the goings on in this field hospital of all these men dying and they're losing their limbs and everything. And the story writing, it is brilliant. It puts you right there in the middle of the action, right there in the middle of this hospital. I cannot knock the writing at all. It is brilliant. But the point is, you didn't care to go into this for 7 books. And now all of a sudden it's an importance. And I know some people disagree with this because I've talked to people about this and they disagree with me, but I stand by it. You could skip these whole chapters, at least 3, if not 4 chapters of this book and not miss anything. That's how little goes on. This is a spoiler, so if you don't want to hear it, fast forward 30 seconds, because that's all it's going to take. It'll take 15, I think, at the most. The only thing, are you ready? Spoiler. The only thing that you're going to miss is this is the last battle of the war. The Nilfgaardians get their ass kicked so bad that ends the war. So then, when you think you're done with this and we can get back to what's going on with the heroes of the story, now you have like another 60 plus, I think, pages of the aftermath of the war and how they're going to divide up the land and what this king wants and what that king wants and how this person is going to be punished and what they're going to be punished for and why this person is going to be punished. And again, the political intrigue and everything, it's beautifully written. But to me, it wasn't necessary. It was never really a part of the story. It was something going on in the background. We knew that our heroes were traveling through this war-torn land, but it was never an issue enough to address it like it's addressed in this book. And that kind of, for me, it ruins this book, because this book could have been so much better if you would have cut that out. There's a group of people that they get no punishment for what they've done. And, well, it's not totally true. At the end, I'm going to talk about spoilers, and we'll talk about that. But immediately, there's no punishment for what they've done, what they're trying to do, all the way up until the end. And that annoys me. You could have worked on that storyline versus all of this war. And that really hurt this book, at least in my opinion, especially now knowing that this is the last, this is how it ends. The biggest problem I have with this book, and this isn't really a spoiler, because as soon as you start reading the book, you learn. Siri has this power to control space and time. She can go anywhere she wants to go. And really all she has to do is think about it. And, that's cool. You totally get why everybody's afraid of her, because she can do whatever she wants and there's no stopping her. That's if she learns to use this amazing gift and quit being afraid like she is. And so you start this book off and she's in Camelot. And that's also where Tower of Swallows leaves you. She's in Camelot. Yes, King Arthur's Camelot. She's actually talking to Sir Galahad, who is the son of Sir Lancelot. And she is telling him her story and how she came to be in his land. I have a huge problem with this. When an author puts his own story into somebody else's world, I don't know what it is, but I don't like that. Stick to your own world. And that just, it really it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I kind of get, after thinking about it, why he did it, but I don't like it. It's like, I don't know, there's just something about it that it seems cheap. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So, all in all, like I said, 4 out of 5 stars. It is definitely worth the read. Finally, people that you have wanted them to get theirs, they finally get theirs, and it is just epic. It is totally worth it. And that's another reason why this book gets 4 stars. But I don't like the ending. I can't believe that's how this book ends. And to finish up this video and talk about the ending and people getting what they deserve, and the whole prophecy of Siri, I have to go into spoilers. So that's pretty much all I can say about this book without spoiling it. If you haven't read it and you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. Comment below what you thought about this video, because the rest I'm talking about spoilers. I have to. To do this book justice, I have to. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and click the bell. so you know when my next video is coming out. That's your final warning when it comes to spoilers. If you don't care, okay, here they go. So one thing Sapkowski does that I really, really liked, and I thought it was just brilliantly done, is how he makes the prophecy of Siri come true. We've been hearing about it for book after book now, and they really haven't went into, how this, comes to fruition. They're having dreams about Siri destroying the world, all these nightmarish scenes and everything. And they really don't go into how it's possible. And it isn't until the end, and I wonder, because I haven't seen this in any other booktuber's review, I wonder how many people have picked up on it, that Siri is actually the destroyer of her world. And if you've read this and you're wondering, what the hell are you talking about? Okay, when she escapes the prison the elves put her in, when she's escaping the tower and, flashing through time and space and ending up at all of these different points in time, if you remember, there's a part where she makes one of these time-space jumps, and her and Kelpie end up in this devastated world. There's bodies everywhere, the stench is horrible, and she has no idea where she's at, what time frame it is or anything. And she's actually in her world, but it's in the future. And everybody is dying of this horrible, plague. And she tells Kelpie, get me out of here. And she starts thinking of another place that she wants to go. And just as she makes the jump through time, this flea jumps on her horse. I believe it's her horse, Kelpie. And when she emerges in another time, she's at a dock with all, it's like this fishing village. And this flea jumps off a Kelpie onto a rat. And then this rat goes aboard a ship. And it's just, maybe one or two sentences as you're reading, as she's making all these time jumps. And it's not till the end that it's on a house cat. And this cat is dying this horrible death. And the owners don't know, what is wrong. And then the woman of the house gets it, and now she spread it to her family. And it's this, I didn't realize it till the next day after I'd finished the book. And because of Siri's power and bringing this flea through time, she has unleashed a plague on everybody. So the council of sorceresses, that if you're like me, you wanted all of them to get theirs. You wanted them all to pay for, what they think they can do to this girl and just force her into marriage and, do their bidding. Well, eventually they're all going to pay. Everybody in this world is going to die. And then when it comes to the ending, there's two things that bug me about the ending. When you kill a character off, it's over. It's done. They're dead. I hate it when a character is brought back. I think it's kind of cheap. And that's what happens here. So there's this uprising in this town. Geralt has decided that he is not going to be a Witcher anymore. And he's like, basically, I'm done. Well, then he has to take up arms once again to protect his dwarven friends. And somebody throws a pitchfork at him, and it kills him. And Yennefer basically kills herself trying to save him. So Siri uses her power and gets them out of there. We don't know where they go, but they're alive and well. And then Siri decides to hell with this witches' council. I'm not doing what they say. I don't have to. And she goes off to Camelot. And that's it. That's the end of the story. And I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting that. And I didn't like the ending that I got. I think, if you wanted to kill Geralt and Yennefer, you should have, had them go out, kind of like anti-hero hail of bullets type thing. Maybe when, the sorceresses came to tell Ciri, you're doing this, they fight them and they die that way. I don't know. I didn't like the ending that I was given. But the book is amazing. The whole series is phenomenal. I'll probably start watching the Netflix series now that I've read the book and see how it is. Do not skip the last two books. There are parts that you are going to get to that are going to seem laborious to read. But the payoff, the final fight, the main people that you want to get theirs, they get theirs. And it is epic. I didn't care for the ending. But I would give the whole series as a whole. I haven't finished reading this book. It's not really that important at this point. I will finish it. I wish I would have known that it was the second book and not the last book. I would have already read it. But Sapkowski is an amazing writer. This series is so good. It is so well told. The ending is kind of disappointing. So that's all I have for you on The Witcher. Well, not everything. I got one more book. I will talk about that last book, even though it should have been earlier in the series. I will talk about it. But pretty much the story of The Witcher is done. That's my final thoughts on everything. Beautifully written. The characters are amazing. I loved pretty much everything about it except for the events of this last book. I highly recommend it. I would give the entire series a 4.5 out of 5. It was that good. I will read it again in the future. People who say that it falls flat, I don't know where they get that. I thought every book was, engaging. It moved the story along. I didn't think it fell flat anywhere. It's really fun to read. If you would like my thoughts on the television series, comment below. I'd be happy to do videos on what I thought of that. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. What did you think of the series as a whole? What did you think of The Lady of the Lake? Hit the subscribe button. I got more videos coming. Yeah, and until then, read more books.